Welcome to the first part series of the email marketing course completely for free on the house. Whether you're an agency, freelancer, or you're just doing your emails yourself, you're going to find something that you can definitely take away and implement with your brand, and even just see different ways of looking at things, and hopefully start seeing some decent profit coming from your welcome series. I have already done a quick video on this YouTube channel before on the Ultimate Welcome series, which is just a video of me talking through all the points of what makes a good welcome series and things to include. In this video, it's more of an interactive video that we're going to be going through the design side of things, implementing into Clavio, all the automations, so going through like delay times and actually showing you how to build it out yourself. As you can see, this email is for one of our clients. They're a fashion brand. So these emails are designed in Photoshop as well, which is a bit different to Figma. They're just imported to keep things easy for slicing and putting them into Clavio. As you can see, the first email, we've got a prominent discount code at the top, so it tells them exactly what they're going to be getting. You really do want to keep this above the first fold, as I mentioned in the previous video. So you can instantly see there's a shop now button and they're going to get 15% off. Also, these links are created from Shopify, so it automatically applies the code once they click through, which I think a lot of brands do actually miss out on. They're relying on the fact that they're going to remember your code, type it, they're clicking in between apps. So you do want to make things easier and then just use a link which is going to automatically apply the code. In this email series, we've used a 4-part email series. So we have the first one, which is going to be sent instantly. It's going to have the discount code with an easy call to action button. It's also got a little bit of text in there, just describing kind of what they're going to expect to see as subscribing to this brand, which kind of details why they should buy this brand and the USPs, which are the unique selling points, which are going to differentiate them for other loungewear companies. Also, a few bits of product information down here, like products that they sell. So we have emails 2 and 3. As you can see here, there's a little bit more information on here and it's less focused around the product in terms of selling. It's more focused around describing and almost what to expect when they're going to get when they purchase your product. This brand especially has got a lot more information to include on there. We go into a lot more detail with the fabrics that's used. It's made all in LA, ethically made and stuff like that, which is a unique selling point compared to other brands. So a lot of people are into that sort of niche. We've also as well got some reviews, so we've got social proof. The reviews actually haven't been updated into here as it's just an image. But a good thing to do as well is to actually include images of your customers using it or wearing your product. It does kind of add some validity to there rather than just using your basic product display pictures. Then again, this brand is also especially uses Instagram quite well. So their community is built in-house and they are very big on the community side of things. So again, it does give them the option to follow your social medias and see a bit more what you're about to hopefully push them over the edge and purchase. This email has actually been changed, but I will go through a few things on there as well. With this being the last email, especially for the discount, we want to be putting a bit more urgency on things. So having this expires in 24 hours and kind of pushing it a bit more because this is going to be the last time they're going to see this email, potentially unless they end up purchasing through campaigns or if they get entered into other flows. One thing as well, we did have a dynamic block on here as well because they were running new products and they have quite a big line as well. So we have new products coming in and out and then stocks obviously changing as well. So this helps us keep up to date with products that are actually being used, and Clavio can just put it dynamically for saying the best selling products and stuff like that. I do just want to point out as well, this is another welcome flow we've done for another brand and they actually don't use a discount code. They don't really have an offer to get people on the list. However, obviously as a brand, you do kind of want to have this thing in place. So there is other ways of going around things and just breaking it down and making it a little bit more fun and going more off the idea of selling things to a bit more about your brand. So here we have all the play, learn. It's not just about shoving products down their throats. So if you're on a brand new account, you're probably going to be looking at this same sort of screen as me. If not, then obviously you might know a little bit of way around Clavio. So you do just want to come to the homepage. And the first thing what we want to do for the welcome flow is opt in. So you're going to type in default opt-in, and usually, especially if you're on a brand new account or you haven't actually changed this setting, it's going to already be on double opt-in. We want to turn this to single opt-in only. I'm not sure if you're aware of things. So if you've seen it on your emails, if you subscribe to a brand and it comes up with either an email from Clavio or your other email provider, it's going to say, are you accepting that you want to receive marketing information from this brand? Usually people aren't actually looking for an email from Clavio. They're going to be looking for an email from your brand. So it might actually get missed and then they might not even get put on your mailing list. Again, it's just another process that they can get lost in between. Whereas if we keep things easier and then easier for them to follow through, then at the end of the day, it's just going to help us in converting. So make sure this is on single opt-in. Then we are going to jump into the nitty gritty things. In this playlist, I'm going to be breaking down every single flow and what to include in all your flows. So to make things easier for yourself, you can just copy my videos and then you have an A to Z guide on pretty much your whole email marketing. With this email built out for our client, this is kind of what you're going to expect to see. So as you can see, it is a 4 email list. Starting off, we have the trigger. So I will go into a minute on how to actually design it in Clavio, but I'm just going to show you how it looks in the end so you can kind of have a rough idea of what you're going to need to do yourself. Your trigger is the newsletter. So when people have used your pop-up form, which again, I have actually made a video on how to create a high converting pop-up form. This one actually performed at 12% submit rate, which is pretty high, to be honest with you. Straight off the bat, you want to be, as soon as they sign up, you want to be sending them the email instantly. I've seen a few brands that do like a delay of like an hour or 2 hours, even a little bit longer in some cases. The only downside with this is, let's say, for example, you're on your lunch break at work. You then send it 2 hours later. You're then going to be in work. You're then not going to be in a mood to buy stuff. Again, that's just fizzled out. Another example as well, a lot of buyers end up going on their phones in the evening before bed. And let's say it's 8 p.m., 9 p.m., and you've got like a 2-3 hour delay on that. You're then going to be looking at times that are pushing midnight and onwards. Again, people aren't going to be on their phone to purchase this. So the fact they've actually gone on your pop-up, they're going to want to be receiving this information instantly. Even if you do include the discount code in the welcome series, it's still good practice just to send this email out instantly so they're going to get it. With the timers, I see a lot of people saying your brand needs to use this, your brand needs to use that. Each situation is going to be different depending on how your price point. If you've got a high price point, you're going to want to be delaying your frequency of emails, so you're going to be increasing it, decreasing it. It all comes down to testing and seeing what works better for your brand. So with this one, we actually don't have any evidence to prove that. Obviously, it is a brand new account, so we're just sticking it off. We're starting off with 3 days, and then 5 days, and then 5 days again. We do just want to kind of stretch this out because it is kind of a niche product. There's a lot on the site as well, so depending on what people are actually purchasing, it will kind of take a little bit of time to chase up on things. Again, throughout the testing period, we'll be keeping an eye on things, checking open rates, click rates, and then be messing around with things here. As you can see, we're already testing times. So we've got 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. So you can play around with this as well. With your first email to second email, I recommend anywhere between 1 to 3 days. Again, it depends on your price point. The more expensive it is, I'd go for a longer delay in between. And then as this one, we are stretching ours out a little bit longer. We've gone for, again, for emails 2 to 3, we've got 5 days, and we're testing this at 1 p.m. And then same again, we're testing 5 days again. We do just kind of want to stretch this out. It depends on your brand. If it's an impulse buy, we can kind of go a little bit more aggressive because you are kind of focusing on bringing new eyes in rather than nurturing customers to keep them coming back and back. So into the bit that you actually want to watch this video for, we're going to go hit and create flow. You can use these pre-built ones, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to kind of show you how the thought process into what actually goes into building these emails for yourself, so you can implement this in your flows further down the line. So build flow, and then we're going to pick for my marketing. Whilst we're on the note of my agency, if you're a brand that's between as little as 50k a month upwards to 7 figures, feel free to use the link below and we can book a call. And what we'll do is we'll do a free deep dive into your account, highlighting the areas that we're going to need to improve. And we'll also chuck in a marketing plan on how to correct things. If all goes well, hopefully we end up working for you and crushing your numbers, especially with Q4 coming up soon. Rather, without me with the selfless plug, I'm just going to put welcome flow. Just keep it easy. Doesn't need to be that detailed. It's just the name of the flow. Create manually. So this is kind of the bit I showed you earlier, but we need to do a few more things before that. So if we go to all triggers and added to list and newsletter, just show you real quick, your lists are in here. As you can see, we actually haven't added anyone to this newsletter, but again, it is just a newsletter which comes from your sign up form. So you will just plug that in and go from there. Literally all you do is click create new list and then just go through the process of filling that out. Head back over into the flows. Before we got on a little bit of a tangent, if we click this trigger at the top, we want to add a profile filler. What this is going to do is a condition that either people will either stop receiving your email once a trigger has happened. So we want to make sure that placed order, so that means they've confirmed the order, they've actually purchased something, they want to be then removed from this flow because then they're going to be transferred into the post-purchase flow and they're going to stop receiving this as well. So place order 0 times in the last, you can just go overall time, because obviously once it gets to the end of the flow, like the end of the 4 emails, they're not going to receive things. But just to cover all angles, now jump into the fun stuff. So we want to drag Clavio is really easy. That's why I recommend using it for our brands that we work with. Literally, all you need to do is just drag email across. And for the sake of this video, we're just going to put 3 emails. And then if we scroll down a little bit further on the list, we can add time delays. So we don't want a time delay here. And then another time delay here as well. So when it comes to editing, you can, especially for these follow-up emails, I'll definitely suggest trying to use specific times of the day. So whether it be like 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, all depends. Again, it is a testing thing. With the specific time of day, it's going to be hard to test if you are working with a small list. So if people aren't actually being initiated into your flows on a frequent basis and you're not working with a large pool of numbers, your data can actually be quite inconclusive and you can actually go against what you're actually doing. So you could actually be hurting your results as well as this. So these time delays are all brand dependent. So the numbers that I'm saying right now, they might actually not perform well for your brand, but it is just a matter of just testing and seeing what's going to work best for you. So we just put 2 days in here. Oh, pressing F2, 2 days in there. And like I say, if you just put like 1 p.m, just so I'll show you in the video. So just put 1 p.m. and then click save. You'll see here that this is going to be sent out at 1 p.m. So this email here, this one, we'll just put 2 days again and go from there. So just a quick mention as well with settings, this is going to skip profiles if they've received an email in the last 16 hours. The first email for definite, you want to turn this off because, I mean, they're going to get this email instantly anyway, so it's not really too much of an issue. Whereas your second and third email, it can be argued that, turning this off might come across a bit of more like passive. So you're not, especially if you're sending campaigns, then you're not going to come across like spamming them 2-3 times a day. Again, it kind of does just depend on your brand. And for most instances, I do keep this turned off just to keep them pushing through the welcome series. I mean, like once that series is done, they're only going to be receiving flows that are entering to like abandoned browse abandon, the products they're looking at, or even just your win back flows and stuff like that, campaigns. For the most part, honestly, I do actually keep these profiles, I do have this turned off most of the time. Once this flow is done, people are still going to be entered into new flows if they're coming on your website. They're also going to be receiving campaigns as well, especially if they're in like your engaged bit. Once they get to the unengaged, they're going to be going through your welcome flow, sunset flow. And if they don't end up purchasing, then again, it's just going to clean your list and break it down a little bit like that. So I wouldn't really go too far into stuff. Whilst you're doing this as well, make sure to be clicking save as you go out, because you can, if you make changes and then just jump down to the next email, and then when you come back up here, everything's not saved, so you could just be doing yourself a double job there. So breaking down subject line, all you want to do is keep this really easy. So welcome to X brand, just X. You can put a little bit more detail into there, maybe a little emoji, just make it stand out a little bit, and then get 20% off your first order. Again, with your brand, if you've got your own like unique points, or you've got like sayings or a bit of branding around like the name and stuff, you can like go into a little bit more detail with that as well. You can also put like hi from brand X, whatever. Put your own twist on things, but this first, especially that subject line and preview text, is highlighting the fact that they're going to get 20% off. So that's a given, really. Just keep it easy. If we click save on that, that's then going to be saved. And then we go into select template. This is where we actually go into the design. And what you want to do is, we usually have like a design template that's already done, which is just based off images. So we don't have to use any of these templates and delete everything out of them. If your brand is using these templates, then have a word with yourself. You can definitely do a lot better with your designs. These are literally what every brand's using. So there's no way to really differentiate yourself and stand out in the inboxes. So to get to the basic one, we want to go template layout, template type, basic layout, and then we're going to be with the basic stuff. Once you get your template, you literally just want to delete everything out of here. We're not going to be using anything that's in this template. Delete. You can leave the footer and just keep everything down here. So it's going to have your unsubscribe button, links to your socials, and you can get rid of this also too. Again, with your footer, there's actually a bit in Clavio somewhere where you can literally just fill out all your brand's information. So you can just have all your links straight to Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, you name it. So again, when you just import things, it's all going to be there anyway. You can also save these. So you save it as universal content, which then puts it into universal tab, and then you can then just drag it straight in. All your links are going to be done. It's going to save a lot of time, especially when with your campaigns, you can just drag and drop it and keep it consistent. For the sake of this video, I'll show you how to design. So we're going to drag and drop your email. As you can see, there's this black bit above and the black bit below. This is actually called padding, and for some reason these templates include padding on all their images, so it will actually crop parts of your image out and it's going to be white on there. So just go into this section, come down to padding and make sure you make that 0, and then it's going to give you the full width of the email. Sometimes I've noticed it when it's on the side, so it actually shrinks down the whole email itself. So if you're importing images, it's going to crop a little bit out, so you could be missing some information on there as well. And again, it's probably not even going to look that neat either. What we're going to do, come over to Figma. If you're not using Figma, then you really need to start, because it is a lot easier to use than other software. These ones were actually designed in Photoshop, so there's me slating Figma, other things, but it is a lot easier, in my opinion, to drag and drop things straight from Figma into Clavio. So if you want to press S on your keyboard and literally just drag and drop over there, as you can see, it's got 600 width, and then this is the length of the email. We do want to keep things 600 and make sure as well. One thing a lot of people, I've actually seen this quite a lot, on the sides of the email, some people it'll be cropped a little bit further like this, or it'll be cut off here, only by a couple of pixels. But in the email, especially on computer or not so much on mobile, you can actually pick this up, and again, it's just not a good look on your brand, especially for your welcome series. This is the first thing people are going to see of your brand. So you really want to go balls deep and show them how good quality your brand is, with the designs, copy and everything like that. If you're wondering why I've actually sliced this whole image, it's because it's all going to the same page. There's no individual links on here. We're not going to reviews pages, bestsellers, whatever you might have on your website. We're just going straight to the bestsellers in this one. A lot of people I've seen that cock up on their welcome series, they end up taking people to the website, which again, it's not really the best practice. You do really want to be taking them to the it depends on what your brand is. If you've got a one product store, take them to that one product. If you've got a store with a lot of things in there, take them to the bestsellers or even collections. But I do think you probably would get better with your bestsellers. Without me waffling on, go over to export. I prefer to export mine in JPEG, because if you do use PNG, especially if you've designed them in Figma, if they've got white backgrounds, it can actually make your email see-through. So it's kind of best to keep it as a JPEG. That's just going to literally download everything as it is, and then jump over to Figma and then drag and drop. Easy as that. You can compress these emails. It depends on what your deliverability is. And again, same with images. People do have the stigma that you can't use all images, this, that, and the other. But if people are engaging with your emails, you're not getting people unsubscribed from you, and you've also got your spam traps and bounces, everything like that, you're going to be looking after your deliverability. So having all images is actually not a bad thing as well. It keeps it optimized for mobile. So if you flick over to here, it still looks just as good on mobile. You're not having to mess around with text, sorting your spacing out and things like that. It does keep things a lot easier. So yeah, I don't know who came up with this thing that you can't just use all images. It is kind of a bit of a waffle. However, if you're trying to sort your deliverability out and it's that bad, then I do recommend just running text-based on the emails. Alt text, we can just put welcome, use code hello 15 for 15% off. This text just comes up if the image doesn't load for some reason. So this is what they're going to see. So it is kind of good. It doesn't have to be grammatically correct. Just put hello, use code, whatever for whatever off. As I've already mentioned, link, we want to take them to the bestsellers, and there's no other links on here at all. As you can see, the footer down here has all their links to other different sellers. I have seen a lot of brands recently using the top banner that's saying shop now, shop bestsellers at the top. I don't necessarily agree with things. In my opinion, it's making it look more like a website. The email is supposed to have a topic on it that it's pushing forward. So the topic of this email is the 15% off. So when you're putting stuff like shop now, bestsellers and stuff at the top, that's going to take people away from the idea of this email. I do think you are best off just having one sole purpose with one sole call to action. And then obviously if they've got to the bottom of the email, they're obviously showing interest in your product. So having your bestsellers and other areas of your brand down there definitely doesn't hurt at all. For the basic of this video, I'll keep it easy and I'll just show you in Figma. You literally just want to slice this, JPEG, export, and then again, we can just drag and drop another image below, go to your downloads, drag and drop, and then build your footer out again. As I showed you before, you can make this all a universal content. So once you've built all this out and you've got all your links work, you can build this out in universal content here. So save that. And then it makes just things easier just to drag and drop in there. You want to make as much content as you can universal. Again, it just makes things a lot easier for when you're building stuff out, especially with your campaigns and keeping them all the same. So I'm going to exit out of this, and you can literally just click on here, preview, and it's going to show you kind of what people are going to expect when they see it. You can also send it to your email address. So you can also send it to your email so you can see what it looks like on your mobile and your desktop. Just literally go on preview and test, enter your email address, and also it's going to show you your total email size. So this email is actually quite small because we just used all one image, and we didn't need to compress it to reduce the size. So we've got plenty of room left, and it's not going to be clipped from Google. By now we have built out the first email. I'm not going to go into how to build out the other ones because obviously I've just shown you that there. It's all pretty straightforward. So this is your basic welcome flow. Don't overcomplicate things. You don't need some conditions in there. We don't even know what people are interested in when they're in your welcome flow. They're just brand new on your site. So keep things easy, keep the content good, and then you'll be on for a winner. I'm going to go through a few mistakes that brands and even agencies have been making with their welcome flow series. As I mentioned before, one of the big mistakes is your links. So you actually want to make sure, for starters, your links work and they're going to the right part of the website. Number two, you want to make sure your links are relevant. You want to make sure that when they're clicking your discount or whatever in your welcome flow series, it's going to your product page. If you're a one-stop store, your best sellers, or even collections, they want to get straight onto instant value for your products. They don't want to be going to your website because, again, it just adds another step in there for them to look around, start browsing and stuff like that. We're making things as easy as we can for our subscribers. Number two, you'll be quite surprised on this one, is your Shopify discount codes. The amount of brands that have stuff that are all over the place. So have a discount code saying welcome 15, but in Shopify it's welcome 10 or whatever it might be. So these discount codes aren't going to work at all. Again, you're going to see a hit with that one especially. Number two, on your pop-up, it's going to show you like, oh, sign this and get 10% off when you're actually offering 15. Again, it just looks unprofessional. And I get it, it happens. People are testing different things. If one discount code is not working, one discount amount's not working, you're going to try a different one. And then obviously things do get messed up, but just make sure that's on your check sheet and you're completing this. By now, I hope you got to the end of the video and you've actually enjoyed what you've seen and found something useful, which I definitely think you will. Again, like I mentioned earlier in the video, if you are a brand that's doing between 6 and 7 figures a year, feel free to use the link below. And what we'll do is we'll give you a complete free audit, go through and give you a full plan on how to actually run your emails, improve things, and we'll give you a realistic result of what amount you're going to receive per month in terms of your attribute revenue. If you wouldn't mind leaving a quick subscribe and like on this video, that'd be brilliant. We are going to be doing a series, again, as I mentioned at the start of the video, we're going to be going through every flow series. It's going to be a complete email marketing course, so make sure to keep the likes and subscribes going through and let us know in the comments if you've got any improvements on the video. Thanks for watching.